Welcome to This Week in Sim Racing, July 8th, 2011 edition, and I'm Darin Ganji.
And I'm Jessica Lopez, and This Week in Sim Racing is sponsored by iRacing.com, where you can get 3 months for the price of one as an introductory offer. Head on over to our website, InsideSimRacing.tv, and click on any banner that you see on the site.
Any iRacing banner that you see.
Yes, correction.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, we're going to start things off with a correction from last week. And my good buddies Tommy and Sean, I think it was Sean actually, made a mistake. Told you guys that you could download that DLC pack, free DLC pack, for the PC version of Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, and that you could get it in-game through the store.
Lies.
Completely false.
All lies.
Matter of fact, you got to go through EA's Origin.com platform, and it requires a sign-up and the download of that software, which is not really, I think that kind of sucks. But anyway, also included is the DLC pack. Maybe that's why, at least they're softening the blow of doing that by giving you the free DLC. And you get the second patch for the PC version as well.
What if you just want the second patch for the PC version?
Well, why would you want to do that? Because it's free anyway. So, anyway, as reported on over at virtualr.net, EA confirmed on Twitter that the release of the DLC pack and the second patch ends the post-release development process of Shift 2, as no further patches for any platform are planned. So that's actually going to conclude our coverage of Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, unless there's a mod that comes out, through the community, but that's pretty much going to do it. Rumor has it that's actually going to conclude the development of Shift by EA.
Lies.
No, that could be pretty accurate, but we'll see.
Our good friends over at Rally Sim, the makers of RSRBR, the ultimate mod for one of the best PC sims ever, Richard Burns Rally, they've released another patch for their annual pack. This is the 6th one this year, and it comes in at 362 megabytes, and it includes plenty of fixes as well as some new content. Some of the changes include a bug fix that changes the grip for all tracks in Finland, as well as some problems at some other stages like Purbrum and the W. Besides the bug fixes, they've also made some additions with the integration of the Ford Sierra RS, the Verse May, the Pudulac.
How do you pronounce that? That's kind of Pudulac.
Cadillac, Pudulac.
Pudulac.
The Pudulac, the Peclo Reverse in the snow, and a new version of the line Garland with weather integration, as well as a new version of Setup Manager that includes 126 slots. To see all the changes and download the full pack, including the updates, go to rallysim.com, and we also have a link to that website here in the description of the show.
And I highly recommend getting that. And speaking of mods, we have some more here. 2 tracks were released this week. And first up, we have a track that was originally released for Rfactor and due to its success has been converted by its creator, Taz. And it's for GT Legends, GTR2, and the GTR Evolution / Race 07 series of games. The Potrero de las Funes. Does that sound right? How would you pronounce that?
I think it's Potrero de las Funes.
That sounds better. Circuit is located outside of the Argentinian city of San Luis. It's a 6.2 kilometer layout that has 22 turns and surrounds Lake Potrero de las Funes. I probably butchered that again. Originally opened in 1987, the track was rebuilt in 2008 and hosted its first international racing event later that year when the FIA GT Series visited the circuit. The version comes with 3 different layouts and supports up to 50 cars in the endurance version. Next up in tracks, Com8.
Com8, a builder that is known for making quality tracks for Rfactor, has released Nürburgring 2009 1.0. Based off Germany's last operational street circuit, Nürburgring comes with beautiful high-resolution textures, amazing off-track details, and a realistic track surface with 3D bumps. This is one of the must-have tracks you don't want to miss out on. It features the 2009 DTM layout with authentic ad boards and trackside objects. Track surface is modeled after real-life data and footage. It has 24 garage spots. The online version has 10 extra plus extra grid spots. It includes custom sky texture and a custom announcer sound. The track is located in the Bavarian city of Nuremberg and is 2.3 kilometers long. It incorporates 2 hairpin corners and a long main straight. The track hosts an annual DTM round as well as various support races such as the Porsche Carrera Cup.
And you can get both of these tracks or check them out at virtualr.net. That's where we found both of those stories, and they have links to download them right there in the blogs. That's going to wrap up the first half of This Week in Sim Racing. Stay tuned for the second half. We have some iRacing World Championship reports and more.
The T500 RS wheel and pedal set from Thrustmaster, officially licensed by Sony in Gran Turismo 5 and designed for the most die-hard racing fans. It has unmatched power and precision, it's backlash-free, and totally responsive. With this wheel and pedal set, users will go farther than ever before in their racing experience. To find out where to purchase the T500 RS, visit www.thrustmaster.com.
Welcome back to This Week in Sim Racing. We have a couple of race reports for you, starting with the iRacing NASCAR World Championship Series, which headed to the 1 mile oval at Loudon, New Hampshire Speedway for 150 laps of action for round 11 of 18. Thomas Hazard leads the championship after 10 races with 358 points, and Ray Alfala was 7 points back of him in second. Brad Wright, Tyler Hudson, and Brian Schoenberg were sitting behind them in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. Steve Sheehan was on the pole after winning back-to-back races and trying to claw his way to the top 10 in points. He currently sits 11th, 8 points back of Derek Wood, who's in 10th and was actually starting second for this race, so he's making a late season push as well. Points leader Hazard started in 7th, while Alfala was all the way back in 16th. Pro driver Kevin King, who's been a sim racer for a long time and even ran in VRW, a series that iRacing Chief Steward Nim Cross administrated, ran his first race in the World Championship Series and started in 10th position. The race would see one of the best starts of the season as the drivers battled it out for 49 laps before the first caution flew. Brad Davies came up on 2 lap cars and probably should have shown a little bit more patience, but didn't, and got into the back of number 34, Justin Trombley, and ended his day. Sheehan had led all 49 laps to this point, with Derek Wood following him. As they say, cautions breed cautions, and the next one came right away at lap 53 and involved points leader Thomas Hazard as he tried to check up for Richard Taylor, who got into the back of number 55, Brian Schoenberg. Hazard's car was pretty banged up in the wreck, and he went into the pits and instantly lost a lap. Then the big one hit at lap 59. Kevin King was involved in this one when Jordan Erickson lost the handle, exiting turn 4, and collected quite a few cars. The next restart was on lap 63, and it was the first time that Sheehan lost the lead all night. With Wood passing him early on, that run didn't last because another caution came out. Things settled down at this point for a nice long run, and the leader Steve Sheehan came in with Wood and some others for green flag pit stops with 44 laps to go. Some drivers elected to stay out, and it played into their favor because a caution came out with 41 laps to go, caused by Vinny Sansone. Then on the restart, with 35 laps to go, Richard Taylor got around while trying to make a pass up near 4th place and got T-boned by Chad Coleman, causing catastrophic damage to his car. Then, it seemed like every few laps up until the end, there was a caution. While this was happening, Derek Wood was battling and leading some of the restarts, including the most important and final caution on lap 3. Derek Wood took the win while Steve Sheehan missed 3 in a row by just a hair. If it wasn't for all the cautions, Sheehan may have just been able to get by Wood. In the end, it was Wood though, so congratulations to Derek on your very first win of the season. Ray Alfala was able to finish 4th and retain the points lead over Thomas Hazard, who had a horrible night and finished 30th, 3 laps down. Before drops, Alfala is 19 points ahead of Hazard, heading into round 12 at the Brickyard. Make sure to tune into that race on July 19th on PSR TV or iRacing.com.
That's right. Next up, the iRacing World Championship Road Race Series headed to Indianapolis F1 GP course for round 10 of 18. And the championship battle is really heating up. The start was a little chaotic with Hutu not getting a good jump and losing a few positions. But that wouldn't matter based on his fuel and pit strategy, which became the story of the day. How many stops? Well, for some, it was a 3-stop strategy, some 2, and some even 1 stop. There were a few incidents early on that took out some of the front runners like Matthias Egger and Marcus Saari. But again, the story of the race was pit strategies. starting early on with Ben Cornett of Team Redline, who was on a 3-stop strategy and had taken on some damage, coming in at around 10 for repair and service. At this point, the My3ID drivers Hugo Louis and Jesse Niemanen stretched out more than a 10-second lead over their teammates Klaus Kivickas and Alexei Aloma. Most of the My3ID drivers took the 2-stop strategy route, while Team Redline drivers Gregor Hutu and Luke McLean stretched it out to lap 37 and went with 1 stop. That put Hutu right out in front of My3ID driver Jesse Niemanen, while Hugo Louis started dropping back after dominating the first half of the race. Niemanen would shadow Hutu for quite a few laps until the biggest moment of the race occurred. While trying to stay in Hutu's slipstream, Niemanen made a fatal mistake that cost him his position and possibly his win, as well as doused his chances at the title by pushing him all the way back to 28th on the grid 5 laps back. That would leave Hugo Louis in second now, but out of reach of Hutu for the win. The next battle for the final podium spot was a close one, with Team Redline driver Luke McLean battling it out with My3ID driver and points leader Klaus Kivickas. At least we thought that's how things would play out. However, Hugo Louis was forced to come in for a splash and go due to bad fuel strategy that ended up costing him some positions and a podium. That left McLean and Kivickas battling for second. Kivickas played it smart to maintain his points lead and didn't push it too hard, at least until they came to the line for a photo finish. Gregor brought home his 3rd win of the season and has now put himself in striking distance of Kivickas. After drops have been tallied, Gregor is only 3 points back of Kivickas heading into round 11 at Silverstone on July 16th. I highly recommend you guys tuning in to check it out because it's really starting to heat up.
All right, well, since we're still talking about iRacing, fellow iRacer Stefan Turpin has developed a program that allows the Fanatec Club Sport pedals to have the ability to rumble when you lock the brakes in conjunction with iRacing. All you need to do is download the zip file. It's a program that runs in the background and must be up all the time. It will recognize when you join a session and work like a charm. Big thanks to Brandon Wright, who sent us a reminder about this program that was created by Stefan. And you can head on over to virtualr.net, and we have a link to that website here in the description of our show.
That's right, and speaking of Fanatec, I got an email from Thomas, your good buddy.
Mr. T.
Mr. T. And he sent me an email telling me that the Carrera gear-driven wheel is going to be discontinued, and for a limited time, you can get the Porsche Carrera full package and the Rennsport wheel stand for only $199.95. Head to his blog at 911wheel.com to check that out and take advantage of that offer.
Quite a deal.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this week in sim racing. Make sure you visit our website, InsideSimRacing.tv, and we have a lot of cool shows coming up very soon. Join the conversation on our forums. We love to hear from you. And I guess it's time for us to go now.
I think so.
I'm Jessica Lopez.
I'm Darin Ganji.
Checker flag is out, and so are we.